have some fun today. We're not going to talk about anything philosophical or anything to the Bible. We're talking about something real. The first thing you can see, this big metropolitan area pretty much represent a global economy. We have 7 billion people in the world, $80 trillion GDP, economy. Then somewhere in some high-rise building, some office, and some desk, you'll be the one working there. And that's your job. Now I'll be the one working in separate building, separate country, and maybe working hard at night. That's my job. So what does the job really mean? What is this overall economy trying to make 7 billion people have food to eat, have a house to live, and can have some leisure, go to the cruise or travel? So what's going on? What is this economy? So this tells you how big this worldwide economy is, The United States have a $21.43 trillion. This was 3 years ago. China, the second largest one, $14 trillion. Japan, $5 trillion. Germany, 3.85. So it keeps going. So this is what the worldwide economy is. That's why United States is a pretty strong one. And Russia is very small, actually only 1.7, but they do cause a lot of trouble. So, so that doesn't mean the economy is out power, It out means something else. This gives you an idea, This trying to build your common sense about the money, about the number, and about economy. So whenever people ask you, how big is the economy of the United States, you can say, about $22 trillion. The second largest one is China, it's about $15 trillion. And the whole world is about $80 trillion. So if you have this number, and then even you go to interview a job, I think the people who interview you will be impressed with you have this kind of common sense. So what is economy? What is economy? Definition, economy is a system, Economy is a system. So trying to understand economy is a system for allocating the resource to meet people's needs and wants. So you have 7 trillion people. What are people supposed to do? How do we organize them to help each other create the economy, produce a product, a service, so everybody can have their share of it? Now, hopefully, everybody have enough share of it, no poverty, and everybody had at least meet their basic requirement. Of course, it's not the truth today, but today probably 85% of people have the basic requirement met because of this global economy. Now, what is really going on in the economy? Basically, utilization of people's talent to discover and utilize the nature resource. So we have a mine, we have a coal, we have oil, and we have a lot of things God gave to us in this earth. That's called the natural resource, the water, the wind, everything. So how do we discover and utilize the natural resource God gave to us as the first step? The second step is utilization of people's talent, create, to design, and to produce the product people need out of the natural resource, of course. You have a wood, you have a tree, you have a metal, you have an iron, everything have to start from the natural resource God gave to us. Then we need to transform the resource, natural resource, into the product. Like we're going to make a we're going to make a table out of the wood. We're going to make a hammer out of the iron. So this is all something to do with how to utilize God's given natural resource. Then third thing is, after we produce all the product out of the natural resource, how do we distribute to 7 billion people? Very quick. It cannot take 20 years to distribute to one. It had to happen usually in a month or two. In the in the Apple iPhone, after you get out of the manufacturing plant, it can only take a few days to reach your hands. Can you imagine? That's how fast, okay, the supply chain and the distribution is going on. Okay, so utilization of people's talent to distribute the product to whoever needs it as quick as possible. Why? Because the moment you deliver to customer's hand, you receive the money. And you can immediately put that money back to use to produce more product. Am I right? We'll talk about that later a little bit. So basically economy is utilization of people's talent and the God's given natural resource. If God doesn't give us a silicon, we're not going to have an integrated circuit. We're not going to have all the chips. God doesn't give us iron, we cannot have all the car need the metal. If God doesn't give us oil, we don't have the energy. We're all going to stay cold. We cannot do nothing. So God gives us everything we need to feed all the people, to satisfy the people's need. Why? Well, you go back to Genesis. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number. We do. We have 7 billion people in the world now. Fill the earth. We fill every part of the earth, except maybe Antarctica and far north cold area, and subdued it. Means we need to use all the natural resources out of the earth. Rule over the fish in the sea, the bird in the sky, and over every living creature that move on the ground. God created nature for us to be part of it, to enjoy it. Not to destroy it, but to enjoy it. Okay. So this is a very important part, understand it. Okay. So economy is a system that fulfills God's plan. So that's what amazing part of it. Bible tells us about everything about God and everything about human being. And everything is God's plan fulfilled. Now economy, evolution of economy. Well, like a few thousand years ago, they have economy. Okay, so let's go through how they evolve. Fundamental need of human being, we have like food, clothing, housing, transportation. Usually, this is the 4 most important factor there. You gotta eat, you gotta wear clothes, keep you warm, you gotta have a shelter, and you gotta be able to move around. You cannot stay in the same place forever. You have to move around. You can move a few miles, 20 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles. It's up to you, and up to the need. Primitive economy. On the very beginning, a few thousand years ago, people exchange our product and service to satisfy those fundamental needs. At that time, there's no money, no currency. So I built a chair for you, and you gave me the corn you raised, and then I moved something else. So the people exchange the product. It's more like a big farm market, farmer's market there. So everybody exchange the fruit to the vegetable, the egg to the ham, everything. Somebody raised a pig, somebody raised a cow. So basically, everybody, based on God's given talent opportunity, they have a way to produce a product, the service for each other, and they exchange it. So everybody have something they need. Okay, part of it, small part of it, whatever they need. Okay, you need to eat, you need to sleep, you need the clothing, everything. So this is a primitive economy. So as community expand, society multiply, and people's population grow, and the people's desire also grow. We want more luxury, and want more comfortable. So this also become part of the so-called fundamental need now. Think about when you have a few 100,000 people spread into maybe 100 village, each village 100 people. It's easy to exchange the product, don't go too far. But when you have a 7 trillion people for the whole global world, whole global earth, and you want everybody have a place to eat, the car to drive, and the place to shelter and travel around, that's not easy job. That's not easy job. So productivity has to improve. And product and service exchange had to be faster. In order to make that happen, the currency is invented. So I don't have to carry a chair to exchange the apple you produce. All I just give you the money, I buy apple, you give me the money, and you buy the chair. So suddenly the money happened. The government print the money, the bank print the money. This is called currency. Why called currency? Because flow around pretty quick. Flow around pretty quick. People can use this one piece of paper to buy anything they want. It's a pretty smart idea, huh? And the new job function added now. We don't need a computer before, but now we gotta have it. Why? Because so much data need to be processing. So much technology improvements needed. So we need a computer. We need a computer programming. We need computer design. We need a computer system. We need a computer database. We need a cloud. It's all because we need improved productivity for ever increasing population. That's how economy start evolve. Okay, that's how economy start evolve. And then later, of course, education, recreation is added to the fundamental need. It's so hard to live without education, too hard to survive without recreation. Now, again, health and the longevity is becoming priority now. After I have things to eat, a place to sleep, a way to walk around, travel around, I like to live longer. Okay, I want to have a better life and longer life. I want to stay healthy. So that become like a medical fields keep coming up now. So desire for productivity improvement is leading to many generations of technology revolution. So we have industrial revolution, we have electronic revolution, we have a computer evolution, we have a artificial intelligence evolution. So you can see the things moving faster and faster. Okay, it's all because humans' desire can never get satisfied. And human want more luxury, more comfort. And the human beings population keep growing, even start slowing down now, but still keep growing. And the money is keep circulating it. And people want more money because they can enjoy more life, enjoy their life better. Okay, that's the evolution of economy. Then capitalism. What does capitalism mean? Capitalism means basically capital base means money. Capital basically means money. So capitalism basically means the money decide the value and the money decide how the economy runs. As a capitalism, it's driven by money, driven by currency, and driven by this value we all accept. Okay, this is called capitalism. And everybody have their own autocracy and to create the value to receive the money. Okay, this is called the capitalism. So currency is what's currency? Currency is monetary system. It's critical to speed up transaction and expand the economy to satisfy more and more product demand. Okay, this is why it's called like today's Amazon. Used to be you have to go to the Walmart, go to Target, drive there to buy something, and then put in the car, bring it home. But today, you get in the computer, click, boom, and deliver a product tomorrow morning, right in front of your gates. The neighbor across my house, they have like a 5 to 6 delivery every day. Apparently, they have a lot of money. 5 to 6 delivery every day. You know, UBS and the UPS and the Amazon Prime and the Uber food, everything. So you can just stay at home, enjoy your life as long as you have the money. Okay, this is what the power of currency. Because people want to create more money by investing more money. Okay, so money is equivalent to the value of every job that contributes to the economy. This pretty much is capitalism. Okay, overall in general. Okay, a job that contributes to bigger economy and more productivity deemed to be more valuable and hence more money compensation. So you work on the job It's more important. Your job actually can help the company create more money, and your job is more important. If your job is in demand by a lot of people, your job is more important. If your job is in critical needs, such like you decide that people's life or death in the emergency room, and your job is more important. So this tells you something, sir. Job compensation, it all depends on the demand, criticality, and how people think you're worth it. And if people think you're worth more, and you get paid more with money. So money becomes a value system to decide whether we're important or not in the capitalist system. It's not a right system, but overall it's a fair system. Okay, people work harder, create more product, people help people, and people offer good service. People like to have it, and that's what all the surveys are about there. They want to have a fair system for people to get paid. So overall, capitalistic system depends on everyone to run their own decision, to make their own decision to contribute to this world. Okay, that's a capitalistic is all about. Socialistic different. Socialistic means government won't involve. They think they know what you really want. They think they know what really is good for you. They have some overlap with capitalistic system, but not completely. So that's why in this world they have a capitalistic socialism, like a Medicare is a capitalistic socialism system. Okay, Medicare is a capitalistic socialism system, but they have a socialistic capitalism like China. The government control everything. However, they'll give you a little bit of freedom to make money. Okay, give you a freedom to decide what you want to make. They don't control that part of it. They call it socialistic capitalism. And Americans capitalistic socialism. And Democrats more capitalistic socialism. And the Republican is more capitalistic, less socialism. Okay, so it's not the black and white. It's people are smart enough to mix it up. And then job that is generating more money for the company are getting paid more. Job that requires special skill that is hard to find, you'll get paid more. Job that is a big demand but hard to find right people, get paid more. Okay, so there is some simple rule, okay, to decide who is getting paid more. In capitalistic system, currency flow and capital basically is money. Investment is the king. That's why they call it capitalistic system. Capital just money. So money is the king. You invest the money and make more money. It's the guideline of the capitalism. Okay, everybody had the freedom to invest the money and to make more money and to make product to satisfy everybody else's needs. If you create a product nobody wants, you invest the money on the wrong place and you lose all your money. So it's very free. Everybody make their own decision. Everybody take the consequence based on their investment is right investment or the wrong investment. Apparently, with this kind of capitalist system, 7 billion people pretty much make the right decision. Most of the time, right decision. That's why our living standard keep improving. Okay, the materialistic standards keep get better, and people driving better car, more reliable car. So overall, capitalistic system give people to utilize their talent to benefit others. It's not a bad system. Okay, it's a fair system. That's why American is a capitalistic system and a democratic system. Okay, democracy and the capitalistic have to work together. Okay, otherwise you cannot do it. Completely capitalistic. Okay, I think this is very interesting. Material by economy, money, capitalistic, and job. And the return on investment is very important word for capitalistics. If I invest some money, I need to get back. Okay. And this is what I call return on investment. So a lot of the entrepreneurs do a lot of risky business. The whole purpose is they're trying to get a good return on investment. Like the founder for the Apple, Steve Jobs, 30 years ago. Like the founder for the Google, founder for the Amazon, founder for the Facebook. They're very smart. They create a business. Everybody is one. So their return on investment is huge. So you invest $1 in the Facebook at the beginning, you'll probably get $10,000 back now in 20 years or 30, 25 years. That's amazing, isn't it? But however, every Facebook, every Amazon, every Google, there's 100 other companies didn't make it. Okay, so you invest all the other wrong, you lose all of it. So that's why it's not that easy. Like SoftBank, the biggest venture capital companies called SoftBank, they invest very successfully in Yahoo, in Google. However, they feel miserable lately because the big investment is down the drain. They bet on the wrong thing. Okay, so this is capitalism. Okay, I think it's fun probably to let the teacher Elaine give us some comment. Also see whether there's some question in the chat room.
Thank you, Teacher Ming. This is such a good overview to help understand how the world works and how God intended the world to work.
Amen.
And in the future, when I share, we can look back all the way from the beginning of the Bible when God created, and just how Teacher Ming shared in Genesis chapter 1, God created everything from nothing. God created everything from nothing. So, and God intended for us to multiply. So God created everything from nothing, and we are to multiply those everything that God has given us, all the talents and all the nature that God has created. And then we came up with all these different technologies and solutions and this whole different system. So all our God-given talent that we can use. So what Teacher Ming has shared with us are some very basic principles to help us understand how the world operates. There's the supply of resources, talents, whether are the people, the time, talent, treasure, technologies of supply of everything. And then there's a demand, right? The need. And in the future, we'll learn about the human needs in terms of what psychologists call Maslow hierarchy, understand our different needs from the basic physical, physiological, psychological, and all the way to our own self-realization. So all those needs and the supply drive how the market operates. So when you watch commercial, those commercials will help you create need. Sometimes it may be just a want. And they may try to convince you that, oh, you want this nice new brand of something. Actually, you may not need it. They just want, you may want it. So that's how the whole economy works, right? There's the marketing helping you to understand or create certain quote unquote need. And then there's a supply of all these talents and resources. And together, we can advance the economy forward and advance the human race and all the different needs going forward. So in there, many things are neutral. And we'll learn God intended all this to be good. And yet sometimes, you know, the human chose to do the wrong, chose to do what's not so good. And that's where a lot of the system, quote unquote, get corrupted and get issues. So when you are in a capitalist world, and when you use your talent and you earn your wages and that you contribute to the economy, all those are neutral, are good. And it's just when we sometimes get greedy, we want more and only want about for myself, me, by myself and I, and just thinking more money, more riches, more fame, only for my own good, then it becomes a problem. So I think it's important to distinguish and understand this basic principle, how God intended it all for good for us to multiply. So God created from zero to everything, and then we are to multiply everything for God's good, to honor God and to bless people. So this is a very good beginning. And then when we think about the different job careers, and we'll look at it in the future, there are all types, and overall there's 7 main areas called the 7 mountains. So we come to learn what those are and how each one of us and all the future jobs that we're going to learn about in the 20-some weeks fit into those 7 mountains. So it's very exciting to discover all this God has designed, created for us to be part of this exciting creation, and we'll continue to co-create new services, new products, co-create value with God. And God works with us. He didn't just throw us into this world all on our own, right? We all know God gives us the best gift. Through Jesus, we have salvation. Through the Holy Spirit, we have wisdom. Every day when we work, when we study, we're not struggling on our own. We can take Jesus with us, the Holy Spirit with us, so God co-labors with us in our study. God co-labors with us in our co-creation of all these value, technology, and solution. So this is a nice big picture that we want to be part of, and we want to paint a clean, nice, good picture, not a dark, ugly, sinful picture. So we'll help each other to go this way. Thank you, Teacher Ming.
Thank you for Teacher Elaine's great comment. Yeah, I think it's so important to know this is a system. Give a lot of people the freedom. Now again, people belong to 2 groups. One belongs to God, one belongs to Satan. Unfortunately, that's just a fact. So the one belong to God use this system to make this world better. One belongs to Satan to use this system to make the world worse. Give you an example, like a drug dealer. They use a capitalistic system to sell the drug, to produce a drug and sell the drug, ruin people's life. Then they have a lot of charity givers, like Bill Gates and Charlie Finney, even the Warren Buffett. They made a lot of money. They give the money to do all the charity organization. A lot of people give money to Red Cross, to World Vision, to Salvation Army, to help the needy, to make this world better. So you can see even the capitalistic system, it's a field for the good and the evil. And then it's for you and me to decide which side you want to be on. And who's controlling you, who's giving you the guidance. And this is our whole purpose, to make sure you are controlled and led by Jesus and God and by Bible to do the good thing for the people. And you are led by fighting against Satan. We want to make sure the good always defeat the evil. The good always defeat the bad. And that's our job. Okay, that's our job. Okay, so but however, you cannot join the battle if you don't understand this economy. You don't understand how this rule works. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to talk about something more practical and very interesting. How much money do you need on your first job? It'll be interesting. Okay. And this again give you common sense. A lot of people have no common sense at all. Even you're going to the high school, you're graduating, you have no common sense about how much money do you need to survive as a single income person to take care of yourself. At this moment, average apartment costs $1,400. Utility, electricity, water, internet, TV, phone, about $450. The food, $450. Clothing, $200 per month. Transportation, depreciation of the car, and gasoline, the insurance, about $500. Then you have to pay Social Security, you have to pay Medicare, you have to pay federal tax, sometimes the city tax, school tax, that's $800. Then people like to do entertainment, recreation, You play sports, whatever, travel, that's $300 average, $300 a month. They have the medical insurance, that's $300 a month. They hope you can put some money every month for 401k. That's $300 a month. So total is $4,700 a month, and the annual salary is $56,400. So that is a salary you need at the beginning just to survive. We're not talking about any luxury and comfort, all right? Just to survive. We're not talking about drive a luxury car, just a regular car, $25,000, $30,000. Okay. And that's all it is. Okay. Then before you're trying to find a job, you really need to understand, did this job pay for your basic requirement, basic need? If you get a $35,000 job, you probably have to live with a roommate and share the food, a lot of things, so you can save money, you can survive. So that's why people share the apartment, because internet, utility, electricity, everything is expensive. If you share with other people, you pay half of it, which is a much better deal. So this gives you understanding why the salary is important. Understand the salary is important. Plan for the job you need to give you this kind of salary is important. Okay, you cannot just say, I don't want to study. I hate to study. I want to play around the college. I don't need a good education background. Then after you graduate from college, I can find a job to survive. You're wrong. If you don't work hard, you don't find the right skill, right training, right education, you may have to live with your parents with $30,000 annual income or $40,000 annual income. And the potential your income increase will be very small. Okay, because again, if a job anybody can do it, it's not going to get paid more. Am I right? And anybody can be, the laid back and don't like to work hard, don't want to put too much effort to learn anything. And that kind of job, everybody can do it. And you're not going to get paid enough to live by yourself. So this is very logical and just black and white. So the lesson trying to teach you here is, if you don't want to work hard on specific skill, on utilize your talent, improve your knowledge, increase your education background, and to build your personality, to know how to deal with people, all on and on, you will not be successful in your future because you're limited by the first job doesn't give you enough income. Maybe you have to work 10 times harder if you stay lazy in the high school and college. Okay, we'll talk about this a lot more later, but this is give you a good idea of how much money do you need. Okay, and the next thing I think the teacher let just talk about. Okay, but however, let me sum up another thing. In average, every extra year application, the training give you extra 5 to 10% starting salary. So the bachelor engineer give you $55,000, the master probably $65,000, and the doctor maybe $75,000. A job with special skill requirement training of 5 to 10 years can lead to 3 to 5x more, like doctor. Doctor take extra 7 years in average education training after bachelor degree. So they usually get paid maybe $200,000. And the average engineer get paid $50,000, $60,000. The salary of average engineer, is 3-5x salary of an average engineer. So such as medical doctor, lawyer can pay a lot more. So is it worth to go through all the extra education, the training for those extra money? It's up to you. Like if you get you start a salary for $60,000 and the other guy is $55,000. So hopefully this difference can continue. But however, of course, the future of your salary increase, okay, it's up to how hard you work, and how much you learn on the job, and how do you deal with people, how much common sense do you have? Do you have a good business sense? Do you have a good number sense? A lot of things, okay, a lot of things go with this. And that's what we're all going to talk about in the future. What makes you very successful in the job? Because it's a capitalistic system, so we just assume you make a lot more money in the job. But we're going to help you how to do that. And how do you spend the money? That's another thing we're going to talk about. Okay. We want you to be a good people, make a lot of money, and spend the money in the good way. We don't want you to be a bad person, make a lot of money, and spend the money in the bad way or evil way sometimes. Okay? So this is what I want to make sure. You are the Christian soldier, fight against the Satan and the capitalistic system. And we all work together, we're going to make it very successful for God, for God's kingdom. Okay. Then the question is, what is the most important thing of your life? How much real value does actual monetary value bring in? So if it's a $60,000, I can do fundamental living. $100,000, maybe I can enjoy some beautiful car. $200,000, well, I can buy a bigger house. $1 million, I can buy a yacht. Anyway, so the more money bring you more desire to enjoy your life or desire to help people. It's a pretty interesting question, Nara. And this is up to your value system. It's up to what makes you happy, what makes you satisfied. So you make a lot of money. At the end of the day, do you feel better by helping the others? Or you feel better by buying the yacht? Do you feel emptiness when you live in a huge yacht and a huge house, but you cannot help anybody? You didn't help anybody? Or did you feel very good satisfaction by helping the poor, by helping the helpless? It's your decision. Nobody can force you to do anything. But we're trying to help you do the right thing that God wants us to do, so we can really enjoy our life. And this is the pyramid actually Elaine just talked about. What is our basic need? What is our psychological need? What is the self-fulfillment need? The basic need, like I say, food, shelter, clothing, and safety need is security, safety. Now, psychological need is I want to be intimate relationship. I had a friend, I had to be with my family. Esteem need is the prestige and the feeling of accomplishment. So this our job can bring to you, okay, step by step. And self-fulfillment need. I want to achieve a goal. What's my mission? What's my value system? What did God tell me to do? And so I can keep doing it for the rest of my life. So this is a 5-step of the job satisfaction for you, okay, and goes through there. So you can use your job and use the money income from the job to take up all these 5 level needs, okay? So you can think about it. I will upload this PowerPoint to the file, and then you can review it. You have to know whatever we're trying to teach you is very important for the future, for your future. So you really need to review the PowerPoint and think about it and keep accumulating all this common sense and good value system. Then when you graduate from high school to college to find the first job, you will find out, wow, our teacher told me on the youth camp on Zoom, it's so much more powerful than I thought, okay? When you put the effort at the beginning, you probably don't understand how important it is. So that's why you just have to be patient and work on it. So let the teacher Elaine comment on some of this, please.
Yes, thank you, Teacher Ming. This is exactly the Maslow hierarchy of needs that I mentioned. And you can see the 5 levels, starting from the very basic need. And then the sense of belonging and security in your family, in your circles of friends, that you feel accepted, loved. And then your self-esteem, that you have a sense of accomplishment, that you can contribute to help others, to contribute, to meet the needs of the society. And ultimately your self-actualization or realization, that fully living out your potential, how Teacher Ming always defines success. Are you fully living out and using your God-given talent to honor God and to bless others? So this very well-defined need for every single human being. It's how God has created us and how God placed us in this world, in this society, in this country, in this community, in your family, that we have a unique role to play. While our needs are being met, that we can also help to meet other people's needs. Look at it from different perspectives. And like Teacher Ming said, some of these could be a little bit overwhelming or maybe over your head, or some of these may be just so easy and straightforward to you. Either way, you're very blessed. You're learning this at a young age. I didn't really learn about this at a young age and pretty ignorant for a very long time as I was growing up. So you are really getting an advanced preview of how this world works and how you fit into it and what God's intention and how can we continue to live in a way that God has intended. So it's such a beautiful and a powerful way for us to learn on our youth camp on Zoom. Thank you.
Well, this is a very good comment summary. So now we can open the forum for anybody have any question to discuss. Okay.
Yes, Teacher Ming, there's a chat going on earlier when we said the Bible has everything and God created everything. A student is curious, when you say everything, does it even talk about, oh, what is my gender and everything else? So we want to clarify, when we say everything, what does it mean? What does the Bible have everything mean relative to all the other documentation, encyclopedia, diaries and books and such? So Teacher Ming, if you want to start the answer that question.
Yes, so if you read the Bible, it's very clear, okay. God created everything. So in the beginning, and nothing really exists. Okay, all the material stuff is created out of nothing. This is what the Bible says. Anything that can be seen is created by something that's not visible. It's the Bible in the Hebrew said that. So all the materialistic things cannot create themselves. The wood cannot create wood. Tree cannot create the tree. The dog cannot create the dog. Dog can multiply, dog can have a descendant, but they don't have the mechanism to create. Okay, who created the mechanism? God created. So everything, period, everything from the beginning is created by God. Okay. Then you have a male, you have a female, you have a man, you have a dog, you have a cat, you have a butterfly, you have a hummingbird, you have a flower. You just look at the flower. It looks like 100,000 different kinds of flowers. I bet you tell me one thing, say, wow, how can God create so many different kinds of beautiful flowers, so many different kinds of shape? And how can they bloom exactly the same time and look exactly the same? How is that possible? Can you paint some flower like that? Can you use a paper to make some flowers that? I bet you whatever the flower you make out of the paper and the color, it's not even close to any other flower God created. As beautiful as any other flower God created. I guarantee you that. Okay. So God is the greatest artist. Okay. God is the greatest artist. Yeah. So this is my, like it or not, it's God's creation. Now, of course, people start arguing, say, oh, is a homosexual God's creation? That's another big discussion. We can talk about that later. But the bottom line, Satan cannot create anything. God created everything. Okay, period. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other question?
Right. So there are two perspectives. First one is about creation. Second one is about the quote unquote documentation, what's in the Bible. So the creation, like Teacher Ming said, there's not a single any entity who could create except for the God that we believe in, the God that we know, and the God that we read from the Bible. And in Chinese, I really like this phrase: God created from nothing to something, and then from the something we improve it. So in Chinese, it's 从无到有，从有到优. So from nothing to having something and everything that created, and then God wanted to further improve it. 无到有到优. So God is the creator, and we are now the co-creator in using things that God has created to create and multiply and improve and add more value. So that's the creation. Everything is from God. And then through us, we create everything else or and develop and evolve. Create is from nothing to something. No one can do that. And then the second part is documentation. The chat, Teacher Ming, was about how is everything in the Bible? So some students responded, everything that's needed is in the Bible. So the Bible is not intended like the encyclopedia and all the other literature and documentation that people write. So the Bible, it's the word inspired from God.
Amen.
If you look at the history, sometimes we can study this, and I love talking about the Bible. God used 40-some people during the history of time from about 1500 before Christ to about 100 after Christ. So 1500 BC to about 100 AD. Throughout the 1600 years that God used 40-some people. From the very beginning, Moses was used to write Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Leviticus. I didn't put in the exact right order. So those are the 40-some people that God used to inspire them to write what's needed in the Bible. And you can study so much and hope so much fun to learn about the Bible. There's the history, there's the poetry, prophecy, the gospel, early church history, and the epistle, letters to the churches. And then finally, Revelation. You can study so much from the Old Testament, 39 books, and the New Testament, 27 books, total of 66 books from these 40-some people. It's what God wants us to read from his heart. It's his love letter to us. So it does not need to record everything else outside of the Bible. Everything else can be shared and we can learn from other literature. So I hope that answers your question. And Teacher Ming, please.
Yeah, another important thing in the Bible, it says very clearly, okay, God revealed to us only what God wants us to know. Then there's a mystery and this so-called secret or whatever God doesn't want us to know, then we don't know. Another important thing, God works with people, okay, to find out what needs to be done, what needs to be discovered. Give you an example, like this called revelation, okay. You think Newton is that smart to discover gravity? Or you think God gave him the idea to find the gravity? Think about it. Billions of people for millions of years, no one will think about the apple supposed to fly up instead of fall down. They got trillions of apples keep falling down. Billions of people keep seeing trillions of apples falling down. Why suddenly 1% say, why the apple doesn't fly up? You think this is a God's revelation? Or you think just because Newton is smart? I don't think that's intelligent or smart. It's just because God revealed that part of theory to him. So a human being can take advantage of gravity theory to do a lot of other things. And then God had to keep revealing to this kind of thing to a lot of people. I can tell you some of testimony about one of the largest finding about neuron transmission is revealed by God in the dream for one of the most famous neurologists. Okay. Yeah, he just did the same dream 3 times. Finally, he do the experiment. He find out how the neuron, okay, transmit the information. Okay, so that's just a fact. So a lot of
Yes.
times we think we're smart. No, it's God just say, okay, I want to use you to benefit the human being. So you become one of the smartest guy. The truth is not, okay. I think that God working with you and me all the time, and we have the talent, and God like to work with us to make 7 trillion people all become a better people, enjoy a better life. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 8 billion people.
8 billion now. Okay,
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, right, no problem. So about 8 billion people in the population of the world.
Improving quick.
Yeah. So again, God created everything and gifted us, and you can easily go back to the history. So many famous inventor, scientists, and examples that Teacher Ming mentioned, and you can easily name like Isaac Newton, Michael Faraday, Pascal, Pasteur. There's so many very well-known inventors, scientists, and all the different fields. We talked about 7 mountains that God has gifted and called very successful and accomplished professionals. And you know what? Many of them are Christians, and we can easily learn and study about those. So I hope that answered your question and the chat. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. And it's good we balance listening and focusing on what the teacher said, and then you can also make some comment in the chat.